London is back in lockdown as the UK fights a new strain of the virus. Over the weekend, train stations and airports in the United Kingdom were packed with people trying to get out before travel bans took effect. Now more than a dozen countries have banned travel to and from the UK. James Longman is in London with more.
Britain is sounding the alarm this morning over a new variant of COVID-19. Prime Minister Boris Johnson with an emergency address to the nation.
As Prime Minister, it's my duty to take difficult decisions, to do what is right to protect the people of this country.
He had promised the UK would be back to normal in time for Christmas, but now much of Britain, including London, is locking down for the holidays. For 21 million people, only essential businesses remain open. Scientists say the new variant spreads up to 70% faster than the original virus. Importantly, health experts warn mutations of any virus are expected, and there's nothing to suggest this is more deadly. But an increase in spread does threaten health services. Scientists have been aware of the new variant for some time, but Johnson's announcement triggered a rush out of the capital, jamming train stations and highways. Britain is slowly being sealed off. Belgium, Italy and the Netherlands among those banning travel. Overnight, Canada restricted inbound flights from the UK. The French suspension has even shut down the Eurotunnel and the UK's main port, threatening food supplies. Now, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is calling for similar action in the United States.
Right now, this variant in the UK is getting on a plane and flying to JFK today. 120 countries demand that before you get on a flight in the UK to come to their country, you have to have tested negative. The United States does not require it. This is reprehensible because this is what happened in the spring.
New York airports have on average 6 flights coming from London every day, the epicentre of the new variant. Now, this new variant has been detected in a number of other countries as well, which is concerning. But I think it's really important to point out that there is no evidence to suggest that any of the new vaccines that are being developed and rolled out wouldn't work against this new variant. Diane? And
James, Prime Minister Boris Johnson is holding an emergency meeting in the UK. What do we know about that meeting and how concerned are people there?
Yeah, Diane, I think basically the Prime Minister probably didn't expect this kind of fallout from his announcement. People are concerned, I think. We saw a kind of a rush to get out of London as soon as this announcement was made. Originally, the Prime Minister and the government had promised people that they would be able to spend Christmas together. There was going to be a 5-day period between the 23rd and the 27th, during which restrictions would be relaxed. So this kind of U-turn meant that, from here in London anyway, there was a mass exodus. We saw people kind of lining up at train stations, packed on motorways, trying to get out of the country. So there has been a degree of panic. And I think that panic has spread around the world, unforeseen, I think, by this government. And that's what Boris Johnson and his aides will be discussing in that meeting today, just how to repair relationships with other countries and to see what's going to happen with this ban going forward. One of the most significant bans, of course, is with France. This is a country which we are obviously geographically very close to, but economically tied with in such an important way. 20% of our trade comes out of France. And ahead of the Christmas period, there's concern about food shortages. So what would the government do to try to mend that relationship? What we know currently about the virus, this new variant, is that it exists here in London and in certain parts of the southeast. It does spread much quicker. That's what scientists are saying. It's not any more deadly, but it does spread much more quickly. So the idea is, of course, to try to make sure people stay home. But if they lose trust in the government and its messaging, then it's very unclear whether or not people are going to continue to want to do that. And we don't know how much longer we're going to have to do that, importantly. The Health Secretary mentioned even having to sort of stay home until the vaccine is properly rolled out. So it's an extraordinarily uncertain time for Britain at the moment. Diane?
And James, we've seen a fair amount of skepticism about everything to do with this pandemic here in the U.S. I know the UK has had that as well, but it seems even with this, there seems to be a large amount of skepticism among the British public.
Yeah, I think there's a certain amount of skepticism from a certain portion of people, anti-vaxxers. We've got them here in Britain and you've got them here over there in the United States. There was skepticism about the vaccine because of the sort of speed with which it was rolled out. And that now is basically seeping into everything, as you say. And I think that's because of the kind of level of trust in the government and kind of its strategy, because it does seem to change a lot of the time. When one minute the government says that they're adamant that Christmas will go ahead, Boris Johnson actually said it would be inhuman to cancel Christmas, and then days later goes ahead and essentially cancels it for much of the country. That sends a confusing message to people, particularly because it's unclear how long the government have actually known that this strain was circulating in the population. Diane?
All right, still a lot of questions there. James Longman, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.